Hey everyone, I'm super excited to share with you 14 reasons why I love living in San Mateo County. Let's dive in. So the first thing I love about living in San Mateo County is the outdoors. 72% of San Mateo County is actually protected lands. There are so many places if you're into hiking or walking that you can go throughout the county. So some of my favorites would be Sawyer Camp Trail right up at Crystal Springs next to the reservoir. I love going down by the Bay Trail starting in Burlingame. I also love going hiking at Sweeney Ridge in San Bruno right up in the hills there. Going to Coyote Point, which is in San Mateo, just right by the bay. There's a marina there. There's a golf course called Poplar Creek right next to it. There's a children's museum. It's just a really cool spot. One of my favorite places to go hiking near most of the towns in San Mateo County is Water Dog Lake in Belmont. Now we're at Huddart Park in Woodside, and as you can see, there's tons of redwoods around me. It's one of my favorite places to come and relax. Now, if you're into camping, there's a few really good spots that you're not gonna wanna miss. One is Memorial Park. That is my favorite place to go camping in the Bay Area. And that says a lot because I've been camping probably hundreds of times in my life. It's only about an hour from home. You're about 20 minutes from the coast in Half Moon Bay and Pescadero. I love going to get the famous artichoke bread out by Pescadero, as well as go to Harley Goat Farms and buy some of their goat cheese. If you're into windsurfing, you can go down by Seal Point in the bay. If you're into biking, we have so many good options, whether you're into road cycling or mountain biking in San Mateo County. Personally, last year, I got super into road biking. I started training for an event called the Death Ride, which is just south of Lake Tahoe. It was a 100-mile endurance event with about 14,000 feet of climbing. I did almost all of it, and I trained for all of that. Around here, my longest training ride was 90 miles. It was fantastic. And if you're into mountain biking, we have world-class mountain biking here. One of the hardest trails around here is Skeggs, where it's just crazy descent, and then you have to come back up. And if you're into e-biking, there's some good options for that too. If you're into surfing, there's so many good spots where you can go on the coast. Mavericks is world-class. That's one of the hardest waves that you can ride in the whole world. If you're into paddleboarding like me, there's some really good options. I personally really like going in Foster City in the lagoon right near Boat Park. The second thing I love about living in San Mateo County is how close we are to the coast. So let's start with some of my favorite towns out there. We have Half Moon Bay, we have Pacifica, we have Moss Beach. One cool spot is Fitzgerald Marine Reserve where there's tide pools and kids just love it. You can go out there, walk around, you can check out the hermit crabs. To get out to the coast is super easy. You just hop in your car, you take 92 west and you're on the coast within about 15 minutes with no traffic. If you like going to the beach, it's certainly not like going to Hawaii or Southern California. We're just gonna hang out and enjoy all the sun. But in the nicer times of the year, it is really nice to relax at the beach. I like going to San Gregorio State Beach. I like going to Half Moon Bay State Beach. There's actually a really nice camping spot there too. The third reason why I love living in San Mateo County is SFO, San Francisco International Airport. We are so lucky to have this major airport right in our backyard. It's just 5 to 20 minutes away from wherever you live in the county. And you might not know this, but in 2022, San Francisco was rated by the Wall Street Journal the best airport in the United States. SFO is actually the 14th busiest airport in the United States with over 20 million passengers a year. Lastly, I have been to dozens and dozens of airports around the world, and maybe I'm biased because I fly here a lot, but SFO is a really, really easy place to fly into and out of. And if you ever have family coming to visit you, of course they can stay at your house, but we also have tons of airport hotels that are nearby. And all the major brands are within a 5 or 10 minute drive. The fourth thing I love about living in San Mateo County is our culture and our museums. So if you're into music and you're into learning, we have so many good options here. So let's start in San Francisco. We have the Exploratorium, which used to be by the Palace of Fine Arts and is now out by the water. And that's a good place to let your inner child loose, interacting with cool science exhibits. And it's just a great family place to go. We also have the Academy of Sciences in San Francisco, which has an aquarium, an albino crocodile. And it's just a great place to be right near Golden Gate Park. We also have Hiller Aviation Museum in San Carlos, which has a really fun air show in the summertime, and they have a great kids summer camp. And then when we think about music, we have Chase Center, which is where the Warriors play, and they just opened in the last couple of years, so you get a lot of world-class acts coming to Chase Center. And then the South Bay, we have Mountain Winery, which is, as you would expect, it's a winery on the side of a mountain. They attract a lot of good people. I remember going, can't believe I'm saying this, to see Boyz II Men there a few years ago. And then there's also Shoreline Amphitheater in Mountain View, which is near the Google campus. And that's been here for a really long time too. So the culture and the arts, there's so much to do in San Mateo County. The fifth reason why I love living in San Mateo County is our innovation and culture around that. We have so many amazing companies that you're probably familiar with in the high-tech space, biotech, healthcare, and finance. But what I love about the Bay Area, and particularly like living in San Mateo County, is we tend to attract like the best and the brightest people from around the world. And that just makes this a lot more of an enriching place. It's not like you go to a party and say, okay, what do you do? Guaranteed people are gonna have interesting stories. And for me, living here and growing up here, I just love interacting with people who have fun stories and that they're really fulfilled personally and professionally for what they're doing in their lives. And that's something that kind of makes this a really special place to live in and call home. Hope you're enjoying the video. My name is Raziel Unger and I'm a realtor here in San Mateo County. If you're finding this video helpful, please consider liking and subscribing. Okay, back to the video. The sixth thing that I love about living in San Mateo County is our diversity. We have people coming here from all over the world, and it's very rare that I'll represent someone who actually grew up around here. Most of my clients are people like you, perhaps, who have come from all different parts of the world to live here. And I find it just makes it so much more enriching. You have so many more backgrounds. You have people who celebrate all different types of holidays in the schools. You have Diwali, Hanukkah, of course, Christmas, Kwanzaa. There's so many different ways that we celebrate who we are. And I feel like in the Bay Area, in particular San Mateo County, we're so open to everyone's different types of backgrounds and respecting where people come from and their different viewpoints, that it just is a very safe place. And I think that's what attracts so many people to living here. Additionally, when we talk about diversity, you might be familiar with the H-1B visa program, which brings people from all around the world to fill jobs that we might not be able to fill otherwise with people who have very specific expertise. So we have so many companies that you might be familiar with: Google, Apple, Meta, Amazon has a large presence here, Microsoft has a large presence here. So it's really fantastic from a job center perspective, and then also impacts that diversity that we have here in San Mateo County. The seventh thing I love about living in San Mateo County is the small town community feel that we have up and down the peninsula. So let's start with Burlingame and Millbrae. I just love it. Millbrae has Broadway, which has a ton of shops, a ton of good Asian restaurants, and a really nice farmer's market. And then in Burlingame, we have fantastic community feel with Washington Park, downtown Burlingame, Broadway. There's always tons of people out and about. It's just a really good vibe. San Mateo is fantastic. San Mateo has about 25 different neighborhoods and about 100,000 people, contrasting to 30,000 people in Burlingame with 12 neighborhoods. But just to give you an idea, San Mateo is a huge city. And so you have all different types of people from all different types of backgrounds. Even the food scene is super diverse. There's a lot going on. And it's just a really fun place to hang out. And then Foster City in particular, Foster City and Redwood Shores, they're on the water. So it's a little bit more of a water-based living. You can have motorcraft, some motorized, some not. You see a lot of people paddleboarding out there. You have Leo J. Ryan Park in Foster City, which is fantastic. They have an annual fireworks show, which is the best in the peninsula. Redwood Shores has tons of different waterways that you can kind of move around in. And I just love that lifestyle. So if you love being near the water, Redwood Shores and Foster City can absolutely check that box, and you still have great weather. San Carlos also has a fantastic small town feel. So Laurel Avenue downtown, it's actually the only place that you can park in a downtown in San Mateo County where you don't pay for parking, which I think is fantastic. I don't know why all the other towns can't do it. Well, I do know it's tax revenue, and it's all about the money sometimes. You also have Burton Park, which is the main park in the flats of San Carlos. It has a lot of different activities there and fields. And then way up in the hills in San Carlos, we have Arguello Park, which is a huge wide open space. Redwood City is kind of like San Mateo, which has a lot of different neighborhoods, a very large population, which is about the same size as San Mateo's. There's been a ton of money going into Redwood City recently, all in downtown, with a ton of new apartment and condo buildings, office buildings, biotech lab. It's just really robust, and that's kind of where we're filming this right now. Behind me is the San Mateo County History Museum. Across the street is Fox Theater. There's just a lot happening in Redwood City. And let's not forget San Bruno, South San Francisco, Daly City. These are also fantastic towns that have really small community feel. The eighth thing I love about living in San Mateo County is our sports scene. So of course, we're in a major metro area. We have world-class sports teams. So let's start with basketball. We have the Golden State Warriors at Chase Center in San Francisco. And this is a $1.4 billion, you could say, mecca to basketball. And it's only, depending on where you live in the county, it's a 20 to 40 minute drive, or you can take Caltrain very easily right up to Chase Center. We also have the San Francisco 49ers, which used to be in San Francisco, but now they're in Santa Clara at Levi Stadium, which is a beautiful place to enjoy a football football game. We of course have the San Francisco Giants, which is our local baseball team, and it's one of the most beautiful places to enjoy a ball game. And in terms of our college sports scene, that's pretty robust too. So we have Cal Berkeley in the East Bay, and that's about a 45-minute drive. And even more close to home, we have Stanford University in Palo Alto, and we've gone there as a family for Stanford soccer games. And of course, baseball, basketball, and football are really fun. We also have the San Jose Earthquakes, which is our professional soccer team in the South Bay. And then let's not forget our minor league baseball team, the San Jose Giants. The ninth thing I love about living in San Mateo County is our amazing food scene. We are so lucky that we live here, being so close to the Central Valley, where 40% of our nation's produce is produced. Sure, San Francisco has fantastic food, but it's so rare that we'll ever go up to the city for a restaurant, even though there's some great ones, because it's so phenomenal down here. I'm not even sure where I could get started, but let me talk about the farmers market scene. College of San Mateo has the best farmers market in the North Peninsula. That's every Saturday morning. You have tons of people selling different produce. There's food trucks. It's just a really lively, vibrant scene. There's also good farmers markets in downtown Burlingame, downtown San Mateo, downtown San Carlos, and downtown Redwood City. Even when you think about grocery stores, there's so many phenomenal grocery stores that you can go to. Dean's Produce, Whole Foods, Molly Stone's, Safeway. We love ordering from Good Eggs, which is online to grocery, but they're unique just in the Bay Area. Even if you go across the bridge to Berkeley Bowl, they're phenomenal. The other nice thing about the food scene here on the peninsula is because everything's so close together, you could get a little bit of everything from each town. Like for example, Burlingame has a fantastic bakery scene. San Mateo has 9 phenomenal ramen shops. San Carlos has a really deep variety of different types of cuisine. So if you want Mediterranean or Mexican or Italian or Japanese or Chinese, really kind of everything, there's gonna be a good spot within a 5 or 10 minute drive of wherever you live. And that's something that I love about living in San Mateo County. The 10th thing I love about living in San Mateo County is how close we are to San Francisco. It's pretty cool. So you can escape the hustle and bustle and live about 30 to 40 minutes south of San Francisco, but still pop up there really easily for date night, or if you just want to go hang out in the city, or if you work in San Francisco. It's just very easy to get up there, which I'm super grateful for. Some of my favorite places to go in San Francisco would be Golden Gate Park, which is actually bigger than New York Central Park. Crissy Field, where you can get these beautiful views of the San Francisco Bay, the Golden Gate Bridge, and on a gorgeous day, you're gonna see a lot of people out sailing. I also really like going to the Presidio and Baker Beach. There's just so much to explore. And of course, we have world-class dining in San Francisco. Many people who live on the peninsula will work in San Francisco, and it's very easy to pop up there by driving. Of course, it's a little bit of a commute, and it can be a hassle sometimes, or you can take Caltrain or BART to get up there. Most people who work in San Francisco will work in the financial district or in Mission Bay area, or just kind of in the Market Street general vicinity. One of my favorite places to go in San Francisco is the Ferry Building. They have a fantastic farmers market, which is every Saturday right on the backside of the Ferry Building, and there's so many good places to go there. The 11th thing I love about living in San Mateo County is our amazing access to world-class healthcare. So you might be familiar, we have Stanford University, we have University of California at San Francisco, so UCSF. We also have Palo Alto Medical Foundation, we have Sutter Healthcare System. Fortunately, we have so much right here in our backyard that if you ever need to pop into a hospital or see an expert, you can easily do that right here. And number 12, San Mateo County is super dog friendly. So regardless of what type of dog you have, you might not even have a dog, but you are gonna see them everywhere. So there's always people walking around in the neighborhoods with their dogs. There's so many dog parks that you can go to. Each town, I would say, has 2 or 3 different dog parks where you can bring your dog and they can run around off leash. And there's certain other parks where you can't really bend the rules, but you can bring your dog, and there's other dogs that they can kind of play with at the same time. Number 13, our weather. Now, I wouldn't say we have the perfect weather. I mean, there's other places in the world, like San Diego, for example, that you could say have perfect weather, but we come pretty close to it. Many people would say our climate, you could describe it as Mediterranean. So in the afternoons, sometimes the wind does pick up, which is not as fun, but like what I'm wearing now, and we're filming this in January, and this is about as cold as it ever gets. It's really moderate year round. I'd say we're pretty much in the wintertime and in the spring, temperatures are like in the 50s and 60s, and then in the summer it's like 70s and 80s. Unfortunately, it's getting a little bit warmer and more people are getting air conditioning, but it's certainly not miserable from any stretch of the imagination. I should also mention Redwood City has a claim to fame, which has a sign in the entrance to the city, which is called Climate Best by Government Test, and it's been there for many decades, and we're very proud that Redwood City has this unofficial designation. And last but not least, the 14th thing that I love the most about San Mateo County is how close we are to so much. California is a fantastic state, of course, but just within a few hours drive of living in San Mateo County, you have Marin. So we have the Marin Headlands, which is gorgeous. There's Mendocino National Forest, which is one of my favorite places to go to. Point Reyes National Seashore, which is gorgeous, right near Stinson Beach and Bolinas. I've gone backpacking and bikepacking dozens of times up in Point Reyes because it's just so relaxing. And then south of San Francisco, one of my favorite places to go in the whole world is Carmel in Monterey. That's about a 2-hour drive at the most if there's a little traffic, but I love going to Carmel Beach. Just walking around downtown Carmel and seeing all the beautiful oak trees and all these cute little quaint houses. I always dream of having like a little place in Carmel. It is just so beautiful and so picturesque. And I should say Carmel Beach is dog friendly. It's one of the only beaches around where you can bring a dog off leash. About a 3.5 to 4 hour drive from San Mateo County is Lake Tahoe. Now you can get into debates with everyone about whether Tahoe is better in the winter or whether it's better in the summer. I've been up there so many times. I really like going snowshoeing in Tahoe, and of course there's world-class skiing and snowboarding. And in the summer, I just love going hiking up there, spending time on the lake. Wine Country is only about an 1.5 to 2 hours from here, so we can get up to Napa very easily, Sonoma, Healdsburg. One of my favorite wineries in the Dry Creek area of Healdsburg is called Kokomo. Make sure to check it out. I just feel so grateful that we have so much nature and outdoors at our fingertips. There's so many places that you can experience that are amazing within a few hours of driving from San Mateo County. Thanks for watching my video. Again, my name is Raziel Unger and I'm a realtor here in San Mateo County. If you're thinking about making a move here, I'd love to be a resource for you. Please consider liking and subscribing, and I'll see you on the next video.